Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. My name is Borg. In today's video, I'll be talking about what I think is valuable for Solana NFTs, why I believe it's valuable, and how I judge things overall. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. First things being is checking out Exchange.Art. And I'm not talking about just the marketplace by itself. I'm talking about actually checking out what they do on a regular basis with their spaces. And the reason why it's so important to me is because they release a schedule every single week, and it allows me to get a better understanding of the different projects that I may want to look into. And what's really nice is, of course, hearing the actual developer's voice and understanding their thought process, because I can look at Goblin Laboratories Twitter space or Twitter page, or I can look at their sort of Discord and stuff, sort of get an understanding and read up on things. But once I hear someone's voice, I can hear why they're creating their project, their actual passion, their future, the roadmaps, their branding, all the different aspects that you don't normally get just by reading some text. You get like that emotional tie, that feel to understand what is actually going on behind the person's head on why they created the project in the first place. I think Twitter Spaces is probably the best way to judge a project value-wise, because if someone can talk confidently about their project, then they're at least going to be able to execute on certain aspects such as marketing and making sure that they stand out above others. Because in NFTs, marketing and being able to voice what your project should be or what you want it to become is going to be very important, because anyone who's sort of silent in like the NFT space, or they're sort of reserved, they're not passionate about raising their project to next levels. It's something to sort of be worried about, because we're no longer in the time where we can take half-assed NFTs. Apologies if I'm being a little harsh here. By the way, I think Goblin Laboratory is not half-assed whatsoever. I think it's one of the most detailed, pristine art projects on Solana, and there's a lot of things to sort of look into when it comes to Goblin Laboratory. We'll talk about it later. The thing is there's so many projects out there that are scams right now, and they don't jump on these spaces and you can't hear them, you don't understand them. So for me, there's a lot of value just understanding what is the person all about behind these projects. And if you can at least jump on a space, whether with its Exchange.Art or Celon space or anyone's space whatsoever, and talk about your project, be passionate about it, I think that is probably some of the most important stuff that you could probably see judging value for an NFT. Now let's go ahead and actually talk about Goblin Laboratory right here, and why I think it has different values outside of just being like an art project, right? Because I know a lot of NFTs is art. The thing is, it has its own utility with this goblin brain mechanic. You can see like you can move around the different pieces. Now, one aspect of Goblin Laboratory that has me a little bit thinking a little bit deeper about the project is how the characters actually look, because this is not an easy to understand art project. This is not generative art. This is not a PFP project of its own class. If not, I would almost classify this as almost a lore or a project with deep layers within it. And the reason why I say that is if you jump on the website, you can immediately tell it's a different breed from most of the projects that we see on Solana. And that itself is a gamble, because it's either going to do insanely well or it might not. But you never know at the end of the day. Gossip Goblin, or Zach, has been doing illustration for quite some time, and he knows what he's doing as far as building a community, right? One of my favorite aspects of Goblin Laboratory is going to be the Goblin lore right here. And the reason why I love the Goblin lore so much is because this is the lifeblood of Goblin Laboratory. This is what helps resonate with people and understand this project. And I think they raised the bar of how to build an actual Discord, all right? Because people are role-playing within the Goblin laboratory. In chat, there's different ways people are interacting with each other. And I think that is so special, because if you can get into sort of the mindset of role-playing and just having fun in a Discord, outside of, oh, what's mint, what's floor, all that different stuff, you can just have fun in the Discord regardless of what's happening. I think those are the most important aspects when you're looking for a community. You are there for the actual community. You are there to actually have fun. You're not just there to flip something, right? That's something that you should sort of look into when you're jumping into these projects, because if you're looking just to flip, you're looking just for a profit, I'm gonna tell you right now, you might get burned. All right, if you can have a longer term vision, if you can at least think that you can hold this project longer than a day, I feel like that's where the real value is at with NFTs. If you feel like you're gonna hold a project for less than one day, you should sort of rethink your decision of actually holding it and participating in the mint, if you know what I mean. Let's go ahead and jump into the next project, and this is going to be Chicken Tribe. Now, the reason why this one is so special to me is because they provided value to the folks who are in their Discord and to the folks who are part of their community before the mint. Just like how Goblin Laboratory did it via the lore. How Chicken Tribe did it, if you jump on the Chicken Tribe Discord right here, there's actually a storyline that's available for folk. And what's really cool is they have a comic book that you can check out and sort of understand. And the reason why that's so important to me is because you get to sort of feel what the actual like artists and developers are trying to create. It's not just, oh, it's a Discord, oh, it's an art project. There's some meat, there's some potatoes behind it. There's some sort of understanding of what you are expecting from this project in the future. And the fact that they can create a comic book, which some folks sort of like, hey, we'll provide a comic book after the mint. They provided this before the mint, all right? So this takes actual resources to create. Comic books are kind of complicated. There's a different way of like approaching things art-wise. And the fact that they can be this forward thinking with like, oh, we can actually create like animations for the different chickens. And for me, when I saw this, I was like, wow, this project is different. When I look at NFTs now, I want to be wowed. I want to be amazed. I want to actually fall in love with the project, because gone are the days where I want to mint something and it instantly like goes to zero, or people just dump it the following day. I want to actually hold NFTs that will build value over time, will have a brand, will have something that I can actually cater to and actually fall in love with, right? Because if I don't fall in love with it, then I don't feel like it's enough for me anymore. There's way too many projects out there where you can just sort of be like, oh, it's all right. You want projects that will really grip you, you know what I mean? And Chicken Tribe is really good at that. One of the things that amazed me, outside of the fact that the storyline is super cool, is that they actually have like this art contest going on. They provided the chicken template, the master chicken right here, and people went crazy starting to create all these different arts right here. I love them. I think it's so creative, and these are like the little things that you can do to engage your community, and engaging your community in a natural sense where you can sort of see how people get creative with one another. Simple stuff like this with the Star Wars chicken. I think it's amazing because you can take these concepts so far, and it really helps people understand what they're getting into, and the project sort of takes a life of its own. And that's the most important part when you're looking at these NFTs, is it, one, it's part of the developer's lifeblood, right? But the community can also take it to next levels, and it's not just the devs working on it. But the most important part, of course, is the devs being number one, very bullish about their project. They want this to be like the next like sort of Apple, the next Nike, the next big brand that people want to sort of be a part of. And that's what Chicken Tribe is trying to be by having like these sort of easy to approach characters. And what was nice is they actually rewarded one of their Discord members with the wizard chicken, which I thought was really cool. And it's so wholesome just sort of hearing how this project is building on top of each other. And then with Chicken Tribe, they already have like their website up. This might be released by the time like the mint is going on. But at the end of the day, I just love what the Chicken Tribe is doing. You know, I love how the community manager is actually part of the Exiled Ape org, wonderful developer, the Future Steve. He has definitely proven himself as to be an artist above and beyond most of the artists in NFTs, in my opinion, because there's detail, because he can create comic books, because they're forward thinking. I really like this, and I just love how projects are just not going half-assed anymore, and they're actually putting everything that they have before the release of the project. That is what I'm looking for these days. That is the value. All right, next project is going to be Frog Party right here. This one is low-key. It's not as developed as the other ones, and the reason why I want to talk about this one is because they actually have working gameplay. Yes, they also have their Discord right here. It's sort of bare bones right now. This one's very early. The reason why I wanted to look at it though is because of the gameplay. At the end of the day, there's not very many people who can show something off like this. All right, I actually got to talk with one of the folks who are developing this and actually hear their thoughts. Of course, if you can jump into like a developer's sort of brain and talk to them, I know not everyone has that opportunity, but I just thought it was so cool actually watching this thing work in real time. It's going to be placed on a web app later on. You get to collect like these lily pad tokens. There's all sorts of things that you can essentially do. Let's jump into the website so you can see it. Yes, there's a minting page. You can go on it. It's not working because the mint is going to be later. It's going to be 8,888. What I really love about this project, outside of the fact that there's a working game actually behind it, yes, there's a roadmap, yes, there's plans for other things, but the team most of all is actually docs. Like, they actually aged themselves. You can definitely see the oldest person here is going to be 22. They have skin in the game, you know what I mean? They're not trying to hide from what they're trying to do. They're actually walking the walk. They're making a game. They're doxing themselves, and that's just so important when you're doing these little things for projects such as these where people are taking a risk with their money. If you dox yourself, you definitely have more confidence in your project and with what you're doing. And I love how there's skin in the game when it comes to this project and how I can actually see a game when someone claims that they're making a game. Not a lot of people can make something like this, and I think it's just really nice. I just want to give credit where credit's due when it comes to Frog Party, so shout outs to them. But yeah, these are some of the projects that I've been looking at. I've been a lot more meticulous with the way I sort of view projects. I want something that already has built-in value into the NFT, built-in value in the community. There's something for me to sort of sink my teeth in and to understand about the NFT outside of just floor price, outside of the art just looking cool. There's something there where I can latch onto and actually understand and think long term. Because if I can't think long term of how this NFT is going to be successful, then for me, I'm out now. That's just the way it is. It's that easy, because if all I see is an easy flip, that's not enough for me, because I don't have enough time to sort of flip projects anymore. And it's really difficult for me to get heavily invested in projects when I'm already invested in something like the Monkey DAO. Those are the value adds. That's what I look for. Anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day. Hopefully you guys took something out of this. I really just want to see better projects come out of the Solana ecosystem at the end of the day. That's why I'm so passionate about this stuff. Anyways, see you guys in the next one.